Explorers, Kid Explorer here, and today I'm here to talk about solo travel is not boring, or is it? So let's tune into this video to talk about ways for it to not be boring for you. And so let's get into today's video. Oh, and before we do, again, I'm Kid Explorer, and here on my channel I talk about all things travel and sustainability. And if this is your first time watching, welcome, but make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be tuned in for all of my future videos. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much, I truly appreciate it. And if any time during this video you enjoy the tips, make sure you hit the thanks button down below to give me a tip, and it will help me provide more better content to you in the future. Now let's get into today's video. So first off, this video is based on a tweet that kind of went viral on the internet, and homegirl Aliyah Interlude said, "Don't let the internet fool you. Solo traveling is low-key boring." Now, solo travel is not for everyone, even though I do recommend you try traveling solo at least once and see how you like it and see how liberating it is. At the end of the day, if you do not know how to be by yourself and have fun with yourself, it's gonna be boring, period. But I do have some tips for you. So the first tip, I want you to start small. Try something locally, take a staycation. Like I did a staycation in January, and I went and stayed one night at the Nobu Atlanta Hotel, and kind of just to get away and focus on some work and stuff. But try doing something like that. Go somewhere locally, go out, take yourself out to dinner, go to a movie, go to some events in your city or some fun activities in your current town or city by yourself to see if you can be by yourself. Because if you can't be by yourself, you're not gonna have a good time traveling to another city, state, or country, or province, or region, or whatever. You're not gonna have a good time because you didn't even have a good time with yourself at dinner because you're like, I don't have anyone to talk to. And that's fine. If you can't do it, that's fine. So start small, try something small to see if you can really do something solo by yourself. Test that out first. So now that you have started small and you have learned to enjoy your own company and being by yourself, now let's start to venture out and travel the globe. So one thing you can do to make sure you are not completely alone or bored when you travel is to stay at a hostel. I'm not big on staying at hostels because of other reasons. That's a different story, different day. But staying in a hostel, specifically certain hostels, they have a lot of social events, a lot of places for people to gather. You may stay in rooms with other people that are traveling solo, or just with other people and maybe in a group in general. So you're able to meet a lot of different people and have a lot of different social connection when you're at a hostel. You do have to research to see if those hostels have those opportunities before you go book. Just don't go look and say, oh, that's a hostel and book. And then you get there, they don't have that opportunity. But then I know the hostels I've stayed in, they did have social events all the time and ways to connect with people in community areas, to connect with other travelers in the hostel. Now, another way to make sure you don't get bored when you're traveling solo is to pack your schedule. I hate packing my schedule because then when I come back from vacation, I gotta go on another vacation because I'm exhausted. So I do like to have downtime during my travels, but you can pack your schedule. You could pack it to the intensity you would like for it to be packed, because then you're doing things all day. But this means you need to plan ahead. Just don't go on your trip and think you're gonna be spontaneous, because if you do not have that willpower to get up and go and find things to do once you get on the ground, then yeah, you're gonna be bored because you're gonna be sitting in your hotel room, your Airbnb, your hostel, wherever the whole time. Plan ahead so you know, okay, on Monday, I got this thing I'm doing. I'm going out on ATVs. I'm going to the ocean. I'm going to this karaoke bar or something. You know you're gonna be doing stuff the whole time you're there because you already have it planned. You already have the ideas in mind, and you don't have to worry about being bored at any point during your vacation when you're planning ahead and your itinerary is completely packed. Now, if you notice, a lot of trend in each of these tips requires you to do the research ahead of time. So another one you need to do research ahead of time is when you are booking your stay accommodation. I mean, your hotel, your resort, your hostel, your Airbnb, whatever it is, your Vrbo, whatever. You need to research in advance because you want to make sure that your stay accommodation is in a decent area. So if it's an area where you may feel threatened because of the neighborhood, then don't stay there, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be too afraid to leave. And then you're gonna be in your room and you're gonna be bored and you're complaining and you're gonna be like, it was a terrible trip. Also, don't go somewhere and you staying at a resort that's so far away from the rest of the things in that country or that city or something, and all you can do is just sit there at the resort. You're kind of confined to that area. You probably don't want to do that, because then you're gonna run out of things to do, unless you want to go to the resort and relax and be alone. So you want to make sure you have book an accommodation that is closer to the action and activities in a decent area that's comfortable for you. Also, you want to make sure you do research of that city, that country, and see what their thoughts are about women travelers. So if you are a solo woman traveler, there's places on this planet where women are not treated with respect. So you may not want to travel to those locations where women aren't treated with respect, because then you're gonna be afraid to leave your accommodation. Again, you do not want to be afraid to leave your accommodation, and you do not want to be isolated when you travel solo, because that will lead to boredom. Now, this kind of goes with planning ahead and booking activities, which again, you'll have to do research on, but booking a tour. So you can book local tours, you can book day tours, you can book tours for a couple hours, you can find free walking tours. But with all of these tours, you're gonna run into probably your best friend for a couple hours or the day. I know I've been on plenty of tours. I went on a tour in Barcelona, a tapas tour, for about 4 hours. And I met some people who, live nearby. They were going to Atlanta soon. We became best friends for the trip. I don't know their names anymore. That was in 2021. I don't have their contact information, but they were my best friends for a couple hours. So if you book tours, you will end up talking to people on a tour. You won't be alone. You'll be able to have that conversation and connection with others for a couple hours or the day. Now, another thing to think about if you really want to have a lot of connections with people when you travel solo is to look in travel Facebook groups and meetups. Now, be careful with this. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure when you meet up with these people you have never met before, is in a public place. You don't want to deal with any issues. But if you are going somewhere, I know I'm in a few groups where they may put out, a post on Facebook saying, hey, I'm in Singapore from these dates to this date, or I'll be in Singapore. Usually people don't put your exact dates. People don't need to know that. People usually say like, I'll be in Singapore in June, and who's going to be there in June, or I'm in Singapore now, who's around, because I would love to meet up. And then you can take that conversation privately, so not everyone knows your itinerary and your dates, to meet up with others who also may be traveling solo. And you can go out for dinner, go do some activity or whatever when you meet them, and then you go on your way. You can also go on Meetup, where it might have different special meetups where like you may do a photography walk, or it may just be like, hey, expats in XYZ country, and you can meet up with them. These are different ways to make sure you get the human connection that you're probably looking for when you travel solo. Now, the last thing, and probably the most important thing, is to pick the right destination. And again, you need to do your research. Now, if you are a person who feels some type of way when you travel solo and you don't have a significant other with you, you may not want to travel to places deemed romantic like the Maldives, or maybe even Paris, because they're deemed romantic to you. If you're a person like, I can't go out and party or do what I love to do without my best friend, but my best friend doesn't want to travel, then maybe you don't want to go to Miami, Florida, to South Beach, or to Vegas, or Ibiza, or somewhere that is deemed a party city. So you want to pick a place that you can navigate and don't have any type of feelings towards when you travel solo. But again, you must do your research in advance. Now, what are my thoughts about solo travel and if it is boring or not? For me, I absolutely love solo travel and I never get bored. Actually, I have to take time, like I said, for myself to have downtime because I get tired. For me, it's not boring. I usually have a lot of activities going on. Sometimes I meet people as I go, as I mentioned in previous stories, maybe sitting at a bar and talk to someone for a while and going on tours, doing different activities. I don't get bored when I travel, but I also enjoy time to myself. I can spend time, I can be in my house having a good old time by myself and not being bored. I don't know the last time I ever said that I am bored. So no, it's not boring for everyone. It's not something you should make a generalization on. You should try it and know how to navigate solo travel. And if you are a person who gets bored, you're gonna get bored anyway. So that's my quick thoughts about solo travel. All right, explorers, I hope you enjoyed this video talking about if solo travel is boring or not. And I hope you enjoyed these tips so you can find a way to navigate that, because at the end of the day, solo travel is not boring if you know how to be with yourself and enjoy yourself. Because if you do not enjoy spending time alone and you don't know how to navigate and offset that boredom, then you're gonna struggle to travel solo and it's not for you, and that's okay. But don't go out and make generalizations saying solo travel is boring. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It is free for you to do so, and it helps me provide more better content to you in the future. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about this video, leave them down below in the comment box. Make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and social media networks. And if you are a wonderful solo traveler, hit up my merchandise store to get a travel merchandise to show that you are the exploring queen or king that you truly are. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are. Bye.